On behalf of myself and your new Cultaholic AEW Predictions Champion.
Oh, it looks good, doesn't it?
Arrogant Elite Wrestling, Fraser
yes.
Porter. Thank you for joining us. If you did so for live reactions to Double or Nothing. Lots coming out of AEW Double or Nothing, including some concerns for MJF.
Damn right. It looked like in the main event, or one of the main events, he was in the Fatal 4-Way match, Jungle Boy, Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara. There was a spot where he did a powerbomb from the top rope to Darby Allin, and it did look a little bit sore, like he possibly injured his forearm. On the post Double or Nothing press conference, he appeared with a heavily taped arm of a cast. It looked like a cast for sure on his left arm, the one that landed pretty badly, didn't it?
It did. Now, he didn't allude too much to the injury during the conference. At one point, he makes in passing a comment about how his forearm is effed. But he doesn't say effed,
Yep,
obviously.
he said a naughty word that we cannot say right here.
And also at the end of his time during the press conference, he went to pick up the AEW World title with his casted arm, changed his mind, picked it up with the other one.
Yep.
This could very well be MJF playing classic silly buggers. Absolutely could be.
Yeah, it could be.
There's a few things that we noticed during the tail end of that match that made us think it might not be. When he hit that powerbomb on Darby Allin, they kept the camera off him for ages, as you could hear him like wailing in pain as he landed.
Yeah, kind of screaming in pain. And it's obviously a telltale sign when they keep the camera off someone when there's been an injury spot, because they don't want to broadcast it. They don't want to show someone in an actual... with an actual injury. Hopefully this is just him working us, but at the same time, the spot did look pretty nasty. He was out of the match for quite a wee while afterwards. Like, he was not as heavily featured until it came to the sort of final conclusion, and he was cradling that arm throughout. But yeah, hopefully it's not a serious injury, or it doesn't keep him out for too long if it is a legitimate one. But he is the master of working.
He really is. And work hard he did last night. He, Darby Allin, Jungle Boy Jack Perry, Sammy Guevara, they had an excellent Fatal 4-Way match.
Oh, it was really good. I think
Excellent.
that really was, it kind of stole the show for me personally, and we'll get into all the sort of stuff about the show. You can watch our reactions back again, all 4.5 hours. But yeah, it was a great match they had.
Other shockers from that night included two new champions being crowned. First, a new TBS champion, which saw the return of Chris Statlander, making a shocking return to answer an open challenge by Jade Cargill, made by Mark Sterling just after Cargill had beaten Taya Valkyrie. Just a few minutes later, there's Statlander, fresh back in the wrestling ring, returning and pinning Jade Cargill to become the new TBS champion. Sean Ross Sapp from Fightful gives us some details on the reason behind this very sudden changing of the guard.
Yeah, well, he says Fightful has learned that Jade Cargill is slated to take some time off soon, if not immediately, before returning to the ring with a personality shift down the road. Statlander has been planned as the person to take the TBS title from Jade Cargill for quite some time, as she's been on the road with AEW often during her recovery and was actually working out in the ring ahead of a recent AEW Dynamite. I feel like Statlander has been the person that everyone, including ourselves, has said for months and months and months, she's the one.
Yeah.
She is the one to beat Jade Cargill, and obviously they've finally done it here. Cargill managing to get to the 60-0 record that was, it seemed like it wasn't going to get there, because we all thought Statlander was going to do it a while ago, and she's got there. She's got the 60-0, and it was a decent match, I feel like, for what it was. And then because she had the match, we weren't expecting what happened after.
Exactly, it was a real surprise. We knew Statlander would be the one, as you say, but not on the night.
No,
not
absolutely.
Double or Nothing.
No, I was expecting maybe when she appeared on the stage that it'd be like, right, well that's the match for Forbidden Door or Wembley, but not right there. Crazy.
Another shifting of the title scene, another changing of the landscape, this time for the AEW Women's title.
Yes, indeed. In a short match filled with distractions, shortcuts, all the shenanigans and stuff like that, we heard rumors of an injury prior to the show for Jamie Hayter. But Toni Storm is your new AEW Women's Champion. Hayter was attacked backstage before the match, and the Outcast sort of started working over her arm, her shoulder, which was heavily taped. Despite interference from Dr. Britt Baker and Hikaru Shida, Hayter was beaten by Toni Storm with a pile driver, and that's Toni Storm now as a two-time AEW Women's
I
Champion.
think the first
two-time AEW Women's Champion.
AEW Women's Champion. Excellent work by Toni Storm. But Jamie Hayter, the reason for all this, the way the match was put together is because Jamie Hayter is legitimately nursing multiple injuries, one of them being the shoulder that was the focus for the offense during the match and the reason for her losing the title. I think it's one of those things, very much like with Jade Cargill, it's a loss that keeps them strong and allows returns and revisits down the line should you want to go there. I imagine with Hayter especially, they'll want to go
They'll want to go back there. That match, they did the match at Full Gear, and it was one of the best matches on the entire show, and I think a lot of pressure was put on this one. A lot of our expectations, maybe not pressure, but expectations that this one was going to be just as good, and obviously an injury's kind of derailed that expectation there. But it does leave the door open if she's healed for Wembley. She's English, and it would make one hell of a moment at Wembley if she was to come back and win that title once again. But there's a lot of room left for Jamie Hayter, I think, in Toni Storm. A
lot of hate for Takeshita today as well, following the end of the main event, the Anarchy at the Arena match, which saw Takeshita make his return to AEW after a month or so away to turn on Kenny Omega and align with Don Callis and seemingly the BCC.
What are you doing
What
here?
are you doing on that side of the fence?
It looks like he turned up. He took off the mask that he had on, and he turned on Kenny Omega. Something we never expected. Well,
took off the mask metaphorically and literally.
Literally, yeah. And it was unsure for us watching the show whether he had joined the BCC, but it definitely their intentions aligned for tonight.
Definitely with Don Callis there to see where that one goes. Now, as Double or Nothing went off the air, because that was the match that closed out the entire night, which I think was probably the right thing to do. And when it went off the air, Kenny Omega spoke to the live crowd in Las Vegas and cut a promo teasing two non-AEW friends that he's calling for backup.
Now, who could that be?
I would probably think the Beverly Brothers.
That's the only people that
the obvious
could
choice,
be. Now, I'm thinking maybe, that's the only ones I can think of. No, but obviously this sparks thoughts of Kota Ibushi. Kota Ibushi especially, Kenny Omega have an incredible history there. Could we see this at Forbidden Door? I think so.
I think if not Forbidden Door, then there's a Blood and Guts match, which I think has these guys' names on.
Yeah.
Maybe Ibushi and then another.
Allows a 5-on-5.
It allows for It allows for a very interesting, a very tempting proposition. But some AEW debuts, possibly returns. But either way, two non-AEW friends backing up Kenny Omega in the war against the Blackpool Combat Club, and now Takeshita. Darn you! Now on the other side, we had NXT Battleground last night, and we have a new champion in the world of NXT.
Indeed, of course, there was going to be a brand new NXT Women's Champion at the show because of the title being vacated, Indy Hartwell going to the main roster, but Tiffany Stratton has done it. She is now the new NXT Women's Champion, defeating Lyra Valkyria in the finals of that said tournament for the vacant title. Valkyria went into the match at Battleground with a storyline knee injury, and so there was sort of a little bit of drama, a little bit of storyline going in there, but obviously we've got our new NXT Women's Champion in Tiffany Stratton. I think it feels a long time coming. She's earned this one, and she feels like the right person to build that entire division around. People online are buzzing for her, and rightly so.
At the moment that she rocked up, I think there was a feeling of this is someone a heel you're going to build the division around.
Yeah.
And that time has indeed come now. A new stable was formed last night. At the same night, a new champion was crowned at NXT Battleground. Noam Dar, your cousin,
my boy,
successfully retaining his Heritage Cup with the help from some new allies, being Oro Mensah, Jakara Jackson, and Lash Legend. We'd seen Noah chatting with them over the last week or so. They didn't seem massively interested in what Noam Dar was selling.
No, he didn't, did they?
They weren't really buying what he was selling, but clearly he did.
He's turned it around. We've got a new faction. I'm enjoying this resurgence of factions in WWE at the moment. They seem to have factions everywhere. In NXT, obviously, you've got Gallus Boys on top. You've got this other faction led by a Scottish icon.
Yeah.
I'm all about the Scottish factions.
Up the Scotland. Yeah, so one new faction, another seemingly on the divide. Let's quickly dip back into Night of Champions from Saturday night and the division between Jimmy Uso and Roman Reigns. Jimmy kicking the teeth of Roman Reigns almost down his throat.
Not once. But twice.
Oh. So we'll look ahead to SmackDown, where we could even see a WWE Hall of Famer popping up to have their say on the bloodline divide.
It'd be rather too cool if this guy turned up, because it's Rikishi. He tweeted enough the other night, simply sort of hinting that he might be coming to SmackDown. He also teased with a gif of the Godfather about getting some of the job done, and with a little blood emoji. And it looks like he's really teasing that he's gonna be there and that he's gonna set things straight after Roman's been not the nicest to his sons.
So I think three main tweets that stood out was the ones that you said. There was enough. The Godfather one, not Charles Wright, but the make you an offer you can't refuse. Yeah. And then just enigmatically just tweeting time. And so I don't know whether this is like Rikishi's legitimately going to be involved, because I know there was talk of Rikishi being part of the Bloodline celebration a while ago, but then numerous injuries and travel difficulties meant they just binned off
they went
the whole
with the trial
segment.
of Sami Zayn instead, which I think was a good call at that point in time, because it was a week before the Rumble. And that we all know how the Rumble went. But yeah, maybe we'll see Rikishi. Do you think we will?
I think it would be an interesting twist to have Rikishi come in and try and either knock his son's heads together, or maybe have some words for Roman Reigns. See where they take it from there.
That'd be quite an interesting thing to see. It's very exciting. Wrestling's exciting at the moment.
It's been a very exciting weekend. It's been a very full weekend of professional wrestling. We thank you for supporting us through it as well. We'll check out what happened at and the AEWTF moments for Double or Nothing on the channel a little later on today. And if you haven't done so already, there's WTF moments and what happened at for Night of Champions from the other night.
Check that one out as well.
It's just very busy, isn't it? Very busy.
It's good stuff.
Well done, champ.
Thank you. Look at this gorgeous belt. I'm off to sleep and celebrate. What about you, Tom?
I'm going to just go and sleep, I think.
Yeah.
And we'll have the latest wrestling news throughout the day at cultaholic.com. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.
See ya.